What is going on? I'm Zedmot. That is Zedmot over there in that creator boost that expires way too frequently. Doesn't matter if you go capitals or lowercase, all works in the end. The webcam is off. We've got full 1080p boom beach for today. All the resolutions towards the game now. This episode of All the Booms, we were gonna start out with not warships, but I couldn't resist getting into Diamond just now, just about an hour ago, getting into Diamond at the 4 engine room level with only 2 days left in the season. Huge. So I do not have this purchase way over here. And this one right there, the Admiral's Key. The Admiral's Key is so under-marketed. It is so underused. I would love to see an open season where all of the low-level players get access to that for free. Call it open season. Come on, that's got some nautical goodness to it. Anyways, wanted to show you how I got there. So first of all, Tech Tree obviously have absolutely everything that we could ever want. Engine room locked at that right there. 5 engine rooms can only get 4, so as a result can't get that extra shock launcher. I love that that one is right after the engine room, by the way. We're going to unlock all of the things because why the heck not? Now, I was using artillery, I was using barrage, and oops, didn't max my med kits because I wasn't using those, but you get the basic idea. We've got all the defenses. This is my layout in case you want to copy it for whatever reason. There it is, screenshot away. Now, if you have a look, people are not getting all of my engine rooms. I am getting not all of theirs, so really need that defense to up its game. I was using this troop loadout right here every single time. 2 rifles, 1 heavy, not even sure if heavies are useful to be completely honest, and then Brick with her Iron Will ability, and then just, I'll show you a win as opposed to a lose, bringing our troops in. The more people spread their engine rooms out, the better we do, simply because seekers, and then just flaring our stuff in, Iron Will, spreading our seekers out, getting those rifle dudes to distract some things. Didn't get very good distraction there, to be completely honest. And then just throwing all of the GBE towards the 4th engine room, and then hoping and praying that we can take that final engine room down with 1 or 2 seekers. My seeker hits got harder and harder as this season went on, simply because there's more and more defenses. Way back, like weeks ago, when we were at the 4 engine room level, no one had max rocket launchers, no one had the prototype. Now everyone's got the choice node as well, and boom mines and shock mines, so took a little bit of extra seeker skills here. Getting our troops moving, getting those heavies to slow down some shock launchers. The fact that shock launcher doesn't range all of our troops being super useful. If you know seekers, you know how to do these hits. And quick note, if you look at the times between, I don't have instant training here either, so had to wait significant times, 3 hours between those ones, then another 5 hours, and then another 11 hours. So only doing 3 to 4 seeker hits at a time, which is kind of nice on a second account because it just means you're not gonna spend all of your life playing the booming of the beaches. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into some more main island goodness. Okay, so on the original, the OG Zedmod account, spelled properly with the capital T, let's have a look. Now, I'm gonna do Machina, the operation attack that is spelled in one way and said in 5 different ways. So we are going to jump in and attack. Now, typically you would use bullet on this attack, but the fact that there's a couple defenses missing there means that we have to do more than a 1 shock hit. Typically, this is a 1 shock operation attack, one that you can take down fairly easily once you figure it out. Kind of like Ransom, one of those attacks that looks super difficult, but it's actually really easy to figure out. You just have to do it a couple 100 times. And thankfully, the operation attacks have not changed dramatically over the years, so we're going to throw 1 artillery at those front mines, 1 barrage at all of these mines, hoping that our barrage captain is doing a good job. So far, he's missed 1 fairly critical mine. And then one more barrage in here should be able to get all of the mines. Now, whoa, that is not a good job at all. It feels like our gunboat captain has been hitting the sauce a little bit. It's Friday. That's somewhat understandable. Anyways, that boom cannon gonna ruin all of our bombardiers. Now, if you're wondering why I'm using bombardiers for unboosted attacks on curtain call, on dead end, on deep cut, on massive attack, bringing 1 to 2 boat of bombardiers gonna get you all of the GBE. Generally, your statues should be good enough on the damage side, but it's pretty hard to do these attacks without the GBE requirements. So we are gonna go like this. Let these guys farm. If you've never done these kind of attacks, make sure you start your main attack by about the 2-minute mark. 145 on this one because it's closer to shore. On complex, when you're going all the way back into here, do start a little bit sooner rather than later. It sucks to have the solo and then have that timer hit 0. Same thing on a base like Titan, which is like way back in here, I suppose. By the way, if you're wondering, there are only 2 different decks for all of the operations. It looks like there's like 50 different ones. There are only 2. That is a bit of a surprise to some people. Speaking of 2, we are going to do a beautiful, beautiful 2 smoke landing. Should be able to do, and that's part of the reason why that was not beautiful, by the way. That's part of the reason why I like to do that extra boat of bombardiers, because on the left hand side here you can do a 2 smoke landing. I totally botched that this time. We're going to throw our critters into that final smoke, and that should help clear those mines, not having to use a barrage. Some of our Zookas ended up hitting way over there on those shock mines. This is not going super duper smoothly. We need to get our shocks out and get our shocks out in a hurry. Hit the important shock. Hitting that 6 rocket launcher shock behind the core should be able to take this puppy down. That was not a pretty attack. The only thing pretty about that attack was the fact that I managed to hit in that green smoke, that 6 rocket launcher shock in a complete and utter rush. Now, I preach this and people still don't get it. The reason why that sucked is because I had to shock early. You have a 2.5 second delay before rocket launchers shoot. If your troops show up, you get a 0-second delay. So very, very important to keep your troops hidden underneath the smoky smokes. Now, imitation game, I have said this before. The fact that this video goes in the Boom Beach inbox, by the way, can be found over in here. Obviously not there yet because we're doing this live right now. I am not doing imitation game. Imitation game, if you have a look here, there are no critter launchers anywhere to be found, which means that this is stuck in pre-HQ 25. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if imitation game is just on this loop of the same 6 bases over and over again, but I don't like it. So we are doing our own mini boycott. Moving forwards though, need to get that right there. Need to get our supply chest in that bottom corner. So I suppose we might as well attack Boro. Main base needs some love. Please let me know if you are playing on the main base or if you're just using it to get into warships. I know there are some players out there that are still, by the way, check that out. See that gap between that flamethrower and that mine? Can get both of them. Those little skills are being lost because people are only playing warships, and it's driving me a little bit crazy. There is so much deep knowledge about Boom Beach that many players just don't have. The ones that are joining right now, please do check out my old videos. I have gone over every single aspect of Boom Beach many times in the past. We're going to hit that mine. Brick is going to clear it. Our troops are going to get fairly low on health, so we're going to get one more, what is that called, med kit, and then we're just going to walk our troops back to about there. Don't know if we're going to be able to take this down with 3 boats of Zookas, considering that they do have a shield gen. I can't see the shield gen. Don't know if it's an SG 1, 2, or 3, or if there's multiple of them. Looks like it might be a 3 in that back left corner. So we're going to throw some critters out front of our troops, throw a shock right about there, and then we should be able, in theory, to burn through that shield. More critters out front, more battle orders, and then just hoping that that's going to burn through. Pretty good. Not too shabby. We lost too many Zukas at first because Brick jumped, or like one Heather. Our task force calls the Zuka that doesn't follow paths, that jumps out of smoke or steps on a mine or reaches out and grabs a shock mine. We call her Heather. And speaking of, I'm not sure who coined that, but it's been going on for like 7 years at this point. So if you have a better name, if your task force calls that dumb troop something else, would love to hear it, because there is a whole bunch of these little intricacies in between task forces where task forces make up their own terms, they make up their own way of describing where to attack the core. I love task force play. Even if you're not doing operations, please make sure you are in an active task force. There is so much good things about task force. There are players in our Discord group that have not played Boom Beach in like 3 years. They still hang out, they still come out and play. Little bit weird from an outsider perspective, where like I'm on a call and my wife's like, "Who are you talking to?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's George from the task force." And she's like, "You're a geek." Geek being a good term as opposed to nerd. I don't know if that's the same where you guys are, but I take geek as a compliment. I take nerd as an insult. It's a weird thing. I think different parts of I'm in Western Canada. I think different parts of different places consider things a little bit differently. Anyways, let's go. Getting those supply chests down, that is so important. Get those supply chests, super easy intel every single day. And I know Imitation Game is super easy intel, because with these tribes right here, which I should have boosted more, but I haven't got the raw crystals for it for some silly reason. Gunboat energy boost plus barrage boost. You should just be able to go into Imitation Game and barrage every single stage as a max level player. So next up, what shall we do? Okay, so this is my account. So what I do is I have two main accounts, Zedmot and Zedmot spelled phonetically. I full boost every day in this account, and I farm powder in the other account, and then I swap them. So every couple Warship seasons, I swap them back and forth. As you can see, this one needs to be swapped out. I have got more shards than I have any clue what to do with. Need to spend those diamonds. Those diamonds, that is why you guys throw in code ZMod in your creator boost is so helpful. Getting me all of the diamonds needed to get this ridiculous powder train moving forward. And I know that a lot of you thought this convert shards should be free. 10 diamonds is still better than doing it the old-fashioned way, so I use that quite a bit. We're going to get all the powder we need, and then we're going to jump into the tribes, and I'm going to do a little bit of silly things. We're going to boost that Grenadier tribe. We are going to load all Grenadiers, every single boat into Grenadiers, and I'll show you why. Grenadiers have kind of sort of been forgotten in the grand scheme of things because no one uses them since Bombardiers came out, but they are super duper helpful for a couple operation hits, and I am going to do one of those right here, right now. And I think boosting their speed makes them throw faster, but it's been a long time since we've had that tribe, so if I am wrong and I have forgotten, then we will figure that out pretty darn quickly as well. This task force does Forlorn Hope every single day, and I'm not going to show its name because every time I do, we end up with people who are XP level 12 requesting to join for some reason. That also happens whenever we're in the top 50 on the leaderboard, so little bit frustrating on that point, little bit humorous at the same time. So if you're looking for a beautiful, wonderful, amazing task force, search for Kindergarten, all one word, and then a space, and then the number 9. That is our barrier to entry task force. No troop requirements, no statue requirements, no level requirements. 27 diamonds every single day, guaranteed. Doing curtain call in a 50. Like, that's just super simple stuff. We are going to get rid of Mr. Bullet, we're going to bring Captain Everspark in, the captain of the hack. You know what? Let's upgrade that. We've got nothing to do with any of our hero tokens anyways. By the way, as far as upgrading the Universal Remote, it is not required. You don't have to do it. Level 1 is all you need. In this instance, though, I've got nothing to spend my tokens on, so we might as well get it upgraded. Don't use any of these abilities. We've got 2,400 trader tickets. I wish you could auto cash those for the trader, but I just don't have the patience. We're going to do Redline. Now, if we have a look at Redline, it's got a bunch of extra rocket launchers on this left-hand side, which makes getting those shield gens difficult. It's also got extra rockets in the back, which means that doing a free snipe, like clearing this area to kill the core, just not going to work. That's going to be too many attacks. So we're going to go after all of these boom cannons. Going to be a bit of a pain, though, because our Grenadiers are going to overthrow those boom cannons, need these front shield generators to stay alive, so it's... Maybe I need to bring a couple boats of Zookas just to see if maybe we can't... You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring a couple boats of Zookas, then we'll just barrage those puppies. Need to get rid of those front boom cannons faster than Grenadiers could. So we're going to go with 3 boats of Zookas, maybe a little bit better, and then we'll just go in and we'll just do it live. These are the kind of attacks that just aren't standard. Like, all we're going to do is we're going to walk to about there. These are the kind of attacks that I really enjoy because this is not your standard complex walk that everyone's done 500 times in the past. This is a little bit different, hoping that Everspark stays underneath that smoke as she did. Gonna get rid of that shock mine because it could completely and utterly screw up this attack. Hacking the rocket launcher. Then we're gonna walk over here and hack that right there. Getting rid of the shock launcher should be fairly useful. Otherwise, I think that's about it. We're gonna keep Everspark alive though, because Everspark should be able to give us all sorts of extra critters, making our attack work a tiny bit better once we bring our Zookas and our Grenadiers into play. And then all of our troops can come out and we can get over into this neighborhood, trying to keep Everspark alive and actually succeeding for once in my life. Let's get that barrage out. Zookas are going to get out front. Let's get another hack out because why the heck not? Getting our Zookas closer to all of the rest of the things. And then let's throw a... Do we need to throw a shock? Yeah, we need to throw a couple shocks back there. Getting all of the things down. This is where we need our Zookas. Need to get one more shock out there. Get all of the Zookas out front. And then I think we should be golden after this. Just need to get like 2 more boom cannons down. 1 boom cannon down. Let's get 1 more boom cannon down. And as soon as that one's down, we're going to back it off into there. All of our Zookas are dead, which is super, super useful. That is exactly what we were after. Now we're going to throw 1 shock there. Let the Grenadiers do all of their work. And the problem is, you see how that front shield gen has a fair amount of damage done to it? That is problem number 1. That is meaning that all of our Grenadiers, they miss long every single time, which means we're going to have to throw all sorts of barrages back there on that final shield gen, I think. Look at that though, pretty darn good. Getting those shield gens down, which is going to mean that our next attacker can do all sorts of good stuff. We're going to clear the mines towards the core. Someone's going to have to shock to get past that microwaver, which is less than ideal, but we've done all of the work that we needed to do. All of the mines are clear, all of the shield gens are gone, and our next attacker, you know what, let's just throw all of our GBE towards that microwaver. Microwavers have so much health, we're just barely going to put a dent in it, but that attack I would call a decent success. Is that what you guys saw coming? Getting all of the shield gens gone, getting that shore rocket launcher gone, and now we can change all of that to some fire so that the next person knows they can go attack the core. Now, do you guys use notes in your operations? If so, please send me whatever your favorite emoji is. Ours tends to be the, where is that? That is, come on, our favorite tends to be bang. Where is bang? That one, because that means there's a free BJ out there, a free BART job, letting you know that you can save all of your powder and just barrage the core. Now, back to warships for a second. This is my warship. We're at 23.5. Now, if we bring up, where is that warship parking guide, you can see where are we at, that 23.0. If we park at 23.0 in that bottom left-hand quadrant, we start at rank 13. If we go up approximately 97 stars, we can start next season at 14. So right about now, I'm in a pretty good spot. The only issue is that I only have 20 keys, and in order to get over here to rocket launchers, it is 104 keys, which means that I've got to spend in the neighborhood of 6 chests to get there. There are only 7 chests left in this next 2 days, 15 hours, but I've got 2 sitting here. So you know what? We're just going to keep pushing ahead. If I fall below into like that neighborhood where if I lose, I go below 23, I'm just going to park. People are averaging about 2 minutes on my base, which means it is not that great of a base. You know what? Let's show a couple replays here just so you can see where I'm at. So 2 minutes 20, 159. They fizzled, which is super rare. 232. Let's show you that 232. That's pretty darn rare. That is a fast attack by me. So I must have done, okay, they're a 6. So 7 versus 6, just walking through all of the things, letting those heavies get out front, and then just crushing them, like absolutely crushing. They've got all of the things, and we don't even care. Just walking through, heavies out front, Mr. Kevy Kavan doing great things, and then the final kamikaze flare as Bullet, that's not Bullet, that's Kavan, gets shot in the head. 6 engine rooms, that is old-timey now. Broey, I've played them a bunch of times. Their first base was awful. This base, much better. Broey, if you're out there, good work on updating your base. Against Mojo, showing what I'm doing here. So, again, just dropping some boats on that right-hand side and then waiting. On these bases, you need to wait so that your troops go get that engine room. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. They're going to go places you don't want them to go, and then just sneaking some rifles up that right-hand side. Lots of bases have that right-hand side with like 4 boom cannons on it. It is amazing how fast they pick off all of your dudes. You don't want that to happen. And then just clearing straight up. Like, you'll notice I'm getting rid of these defenses in here. The reason for that is there are a bunch of defenses over on this left-hand side. We want our troops to stay away. So an easy way to do that is to either flare onto like that boom cannon or just clear some of the defenses so the bulk of your troops go forwards as opposed to sideways. Dumb, but smart at the same time. Getting that shock on that shock launcher behind saved us a few seconds. Overall, though, just straight up walking through all the things. I have not been using GBE to get rid of, what are those things called? Sky shields terribly often, but sometimes you just need to do it. See this one? See how I was talking about 4 boom cannons on that right-hand side. So if you're not sending rifles along that right-hand side, all of your bombardiers are just gonzo, like full on gonzo. So what I've been doing for these ones is I like to flare like that, getting that one over there. Then we send this rifle. Oh shoot, I already screwed up. This was supposed to have at least 3 boats of rifles, which means I've already screwed this up massively. We are going to throw a barrage about there. 1, 2, 3, 4 over there. I need to get some more troops out here. Need to waste a bunch of gunboat energy. This is not a good start. I was too much talking, not enough anything elsing. So getting into some difficult times. Need to get rid of a bunch of these mines. We're gonna get this over here. We're going to get Kavan over here, and the reason for that right-hand side rifle is right there. Oh, come on. Need to save at least, did I save any of those bombardiers? No. This is awful. Just straight up mistake-plagued attacks. This is not good at all. That left-hand side, you see what I was trying to do with those left-hand side bombardiers? And now we just need to get on to there, ignoring all of that left side, get the majority of our rifles over into here, and then we can get some form of value. There we go. So We've got a couple rifles on that left-hand side, not nearly enough though. So many mistakes. Kavan about to get shot in the face. Don't do it, Kavan. Don't. There we go. We needed that desperately. I'm going to fizzle here. I feel like I am very, very close to fizzling here. We are low on gunboat energy. We are low on rifles. I definitely 1000% meant to bring three boats of rifles, not 2 boats of rifles. And as a result, we just can't get any of the value that we're trying to get to out of Kavan, and that shock blaster is going to completely and utterly ruin my life. So we still have a chance of winning, maybe. Like, it's super, super, super slim at this point. We started late. I was jibber-jabbering and talking. So many mistakes. We're going to throw a flare and all of our barrages onto that final engine room, maybe saving a second. Awful. You saw my average time. It was generally around 2 minutes. That was 1000% a sloppy Joe. Didn't I say sloppy at one point even? That was well-timed, sloppy Joe. Gross. That was a bad attack. Just shows that trying to do too many things at once, flopping between accounts, trying to talk, trying to record, not necessarily the best plan. Find yourself your happy spot to boom, whether it be a couch, the passenger seat of a vehicle, or heaven forbid, a stinky, stinky bathroom. Do figure out where the heck is best for you. Get those beaches booming. We are going to bring in 1 boat of rifles with 2 boats of heavies. Should be able, they don't have the damage amp, so they do have only 50% building damage as well, which is kind of nice. Means they don't have one back towards the start. So we're going to go like this. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to bring some rifles up that side. 1, 2. Waiting on Kevy Kavan. And I said I don't barrage the sky shields. In this instance, I do. Simply because it lets us get the proper shock on all of that stuff in that back corner. And now we should just be able to walk through it as Kavan keeps bringing us more and more troops. That shock, that hot pot's going to become a problem in about a second or 3. Need to shock it as well, trying to keep some of our rifles alive as our bombardiers walk through all of this junk right here. We're going to throw 1 more shock on that shock launcher. Don't care about that grappler unless it grabs Kavan, of course, at which point this attack is going to be basically Dunsky. So don't have enough of... Oh, need to get rid of you. Go away. Go away. Come on, Kavan. Need a second wind pretty darn quick. Good timing, Kevy Kavan. Getting those rifles out. Man, this is a filthy base. Just an absolute filthy, filthy base. I think we should be able to get there, though. Just need to get that next engine room down. Well, Kevy Kavan is still alive. Yes, his name is Kevy. He is the best dentist in all of Boom Beach. There's no way he's a doctor. We'll get this puppy down. Getting rid of some mines. Man, so much going on here. I feel like if we had critters, we could have thrown critters very, very early onto that left-hand side rocket launcher. Of course we don't have critters, though. That would be far, far, far too easy. Need to get that right there down. Next up, we're going to focus on that engine room, and then the kamikaze flare is coming in the next now. Let's go. Kamikaze flare, getting all of our final GBE onto there. 2 minutes, and we're going to go under 2 minutes, which means we're probably going to lose. Needed to throw a med kit. Better? Not great, but better. We did spend a little bit of time jibber-jabbering, talking about that base. John Gunner. Why is the Gunner not capitalized? Oh, a draw. I'll live with that. So as we get warmed up on the 7 engine room level, going from bad to okay, decent, decent, decent. I'm going to leave it at that, though. I need to take these attacks from my happy spot just so I can try to push forward into that 24-5, getting a little bit closer, bit by stinking little bit. I've gone back while you guys weren't here and gotten that next shock launcher. I am going to skip on the cannons and just hold out for rocket launchers. After rocket launchers, if there is any keys left, probably going for the boom mines, but for right now, I am just going to be absolutely hoarding those tokens, hoarding those keys, trying to get into that next engine room level, trying to get those rocket launchers. Okay, one thing many of you requested on the last video is some more low to mid level goodness. So we've got some heavies loading. I'm going to diamond finish those, spending diamonds left, right, and center. We are going to have a look at ribbon cable. Ribbon cable with so many extra rocket launchers. Those are usually cannons back there. This, by the way, is choke point. This task force is Junior 9. 3 spots available. All of the details are there for you. XP 40 to XP 50, a few restrictions on troops, and some statues. Jump on in if you're in that neighborhood. Lots of diamonds to be had there as well. We are going to walk in on this one. I'll show you what my plan is here. We are going to mark that rocket launcher. If you don't know what marking is, do please, please, please let me know. It is so vital that you understand how marking works, what it's used for. And it's an easy way to get Miss Everspark to do all of the things you want her to do exactly as you request. So those critters actually helped us a little bit in the fact that they cleared a couple mines that we're going to need in a second or two. If you're wondering what the heck those heavies are for, I will explain that in about 12 seconds or so. Actually, a little bit more than that because these smokes are a little bit higher level than that. We are going to flare onto that far rocket launcher, and this is how you can be super... Oh no. Okay, I thought she was going to hit a few more mines. This is how you can be super helpful even without using troops. In some task forces, you can get away with just using your hero, getting that second hack out. Because that second rocket launcher was damaged, all of the troops, all of the defenses fire onto that. Now, this is kind of handy because, we've got critters over here. Watch that. All of those mines being cleared by those critters, kind of helpful. And now what we need to do is just watch them for a second. And now we need to throw one artillery and try to kill all of them. Otherwise, they're going to ruin our attack. There we go. So here is what I was talking about with those heavy dudes. We are going to drop one boat of heavy there. We're going to drop one boat of heavy there. Kind of like your warship attacks. Letting those heavies distract those shock launchers. Distracting the shock launchers as long as we possibly can. Getting our troops in and amongst the things. And now we need to throw that shock right about there. Heavy's also distracting those mortars a little bit, but it's more about distracting the shock launchers by a huge margin. Shock launchers, if they fire, will kill all of our Zookas all at once, whereas those mortars are picking off the ones on the edges bit by stinking little bit. And we're going to see exactly what I was talking about with that shock launcher right there. Just absolute poofing all of our Zookas. Decent though. We managed to get rid of 2 useful rocket launchers. We managed to get rid of 4 shock launchers and a couple mines. So decent setup attack. Don't need to finish. That is, we've got 11 attacks and Dioxin is almost gone. Ribbon cable is 2 more easy unboosted attacks probably. So that is where on your operation attack, knowing what the next person's going to need. The next person probably needs to get those shields, or they need to find some sort of hole in this neighborhood. So getting rid of those 2 rockets at the back, definitely helping. Getting rid of those shock launchers, also freeing up a little bit of extra cells, freeing up that right there shield generator. So I think that might be it. That's a long video. What are we at? We're at 33 minutes. That is a lot of booming, a lot of beaching. Hopefully you guys have figured out how to grow trees on your base. Right here, let's show if we can't show you right here. Like, I've got all of those buildings back there. Only 1 defense. This is a single sniper, so many ways to play the game. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a comment, like, share, subscribe, throw code ZMOT in that creator boost. And also, if there's something you want to see that I haven't covered, please do let me know as well. Otherwise, I am ZMOT. Thank you for coming in. Keep that submarine diving. Keep booming those beaches. I'll talk to you soon. Have a fantastic weekend. I'm ZMOT. Peace.